My name is Ben Knowles from East Coast Yacht Sales, and in this video I'll be showing you guys what it's like to be cruising with a family on an Axopar 28. I'm sitting right now on a mooring on Untitled Maine with my 5-month-old daughter and wife. We've just packed up the boat and are ready to head off for several days down east. And so I figured I'd bring you guys along for some glimpses of the trip and just to see what it's like. My wife and I, we've cruised the 28 a fair amount down in Connecticut. This is a bit of a new program, being in Maine and cruising with a child. So we're certainly going to be learning along the way during this video as well. So take a look and I hope you enjoy. So first and foremost, I'm going to introduce you guys to the rest of the team. Here's Caroline and Pippa. Pippa is in the driver's seat, super stoked to get underway here. Took us a little bit to get organized, but I'll show you real quick on just how we have things set up right now. Cruising in Maine, a tender is a little more important. There's not launch service or anything like that as much as there is down in the Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts waters. Just so you guys can get a sense again as to where we've put things. Having a child on board, we've had to just figure out where we want to put stuff, but this is kind of our shoe and cover storage area. We're planning on doing some hiking, so want to have a couple different pairs of footwear. Over here, fairly open for just general cleaning gear and some fishing stuff. We try to be on the less is more program on board here. And then moving forward, we'll go all the way up into the bow locker. This is where we have just all the anchor road, fenders, dock lines, stuff like that. And underneath here, some oars for our manual man-operated tender. This is our table, some chips and extra drinks. This is the pump to pump up the tender, some life jackets, backpack for when we go on our hike. And then in our head here, got a couple jackets. These are our clothes in here. And then moving into the cabin, of course, this baby seat is going to be an experiment for us. So far so good, seems like. We'll show you guys how we have the setup for when Pippa is sleeping at night, where we have spent 2 single nights on the boat. We just haven't done a couple consecutive nights. And then this is our berth setup. So super comfortable. We're really excited to get underway, and let's get rolling. All right, so we're as we power out of the harbor here, what we're gonna do is just get some fuel real quick and continue on the way. And while we're fueling, I'll explain a little bit of the thought process that I have with fuel when going further distances with any boat. So here we go. So just topped off with fuel over at Cundy's Harbor, and what I like to do, I inherently have trust issues with gauges on boats, so I also like to track the fuel used data point. So after I fuel up completely, what I do is go to settings, go to fuel used, and then I reset my seasonal usage right here, reset. So that takes it back to 0. And then from there, I could reference my fuel used versus what my gauge is saying. So when I'm trying to push the limits on distance, on range, I really like to rely on that number right there. So, but yeah, we're powering up. We don't have much of an agenda. We like to be on the no plan here when cruising, but tonight we're going to be headed over to Vinalhaven, so that's where we're headed right now. So this is kind of our all-day nice cruising speed, about 4,300 RPMs, doing about 29 knots, and super comfortable. Our crew aft here, Caroline is doing some research for us for our cruise, and Pippa is just chilling here. So we got a happy crew back here, and all is going just great. We had a beautiful run past Spruce Head, and now we're deep into Downeast territory. Absolutely beautiful. We feel like we're in an Eric Hopkins painting here, and we're just gonna find our spot and come ashore. All right, so we just are gearing up to head out of Vinalhaven. We had a great night on the mooring here last night. Got some local flavor at the bar for dinner, and had a great breakfast. One thing we have discovered is this is our nighttime setup here for Pippa, where Pippa sleeps. I'll show you exactly how we have it set up so she doesn't roll out of bed. But it turns out that it's actually kind of nice set up for cruising mode too. Just to be able to lay Pippa down here. She's got her captain's chair up front here, but this is actually quite a nice setup for our little kids. And we're headed to a hurricane island, sorry for the hesitation there, which is only like 3 nautical miles away, so I just tossed the tender right there. Not super proud about that, but given the short distance we're going and how poorly that would tow, that's our setup. So next stop is Hurricane Island. Here we are at Sunset Rock on Hurricane Island. It is just so beautiful up here. It is unbelievable. And Caroline agrees, and Pippa. Pippa is gonna remember this forever. She's passed out. But no, this is what a fun island to come explore as you cruise down east. We had a great hike over on Hurricane Island, highly recommend it. Hiked up to, what was it, Sunset Rock, and super great location, very nice and accommodating folks there. Picked up a mooring and all super easy. So, but now through the Fox Island Thoroughfare and headed to Northeast Harbor. Absolutely gorgeous, picturesque Maine harbor here. Oh. So here we are in Bracy Cove. We spent the night actually on the dock in Northeast Harbor. The marina was filled up with moorings for the evening, so we grabbed a slip. It's kind of nice having a smaller boat because it's easy to find slips last minute if you need to. But we had to leave at 11, and but we still wanted to check out the Carriage Trails. So in Bracy Cove here, which is just around the corner from Northeast Harbor, right there, you have the entrance to these really incredible carriage trails that the Rockefeller family built. So we're gonna go check those out. Anchored in a couple feet of water. It's nice because we can be super close to shore as we take our human-powered tender into shore for a little walkabout. So we'll show you guys a little bit of these carriage trails before we get underway to the next spot. Prepping Pippa for transport to shore. Here we go. Prepped and ready for transport. So here's the trail map for the carriage trails. We are right here, moored right here. We came from here. Looks like we could have hopped on via tender right here. Good info for next time. So we've just pulled the anchor and had a beautiful walk on the carriage trails. And now we are headed back homeward bound, headed towards Harpswell. So we're on our way back towards Harpswell. We've got South Palmerston, Maine, just off our starboard bow, and the clouds have started to darken up a bit. One of the reasons why we're headed homebound now is because we're supposed to get some foul weather the next day and a half, and it being Thursday, we need to be at a wedding and all that sort of stuff for the weekend. So headed back, and looks like we've got some windy, rainy weather ahead of us as predicted. Stay tuned. So this is the most exposed waters that we'll operate in during this low pressure system that's coming through. Haven't been getting too much rain, but definitely the breeze has kicked up beyond that 20 knot range, and seas are solidly in that 3 to 4, occasional 5s probably. We're operating for maximum comfort with the family on board here. We've got Pippa and Caroline just hanging out back here. And what's nice is that we're all staying dry. It's quiet, comfortable, and I'd say most importantly, we feel super safe in these sort of conditions. Certainly we've had to slow down to that 20 knot range, which it's nice being able to cruise in the 30s, which is where we've been for most of the trip. But you know, at some point when you do a certain amount of miles, you're going to find some heavier weather where you're going to have to slow down a little bit, and when that does happen, we're still comfortable. So all good back there? All right. So we're just trying to keep small, and now we're on the downhill stretch to the Cundy's Harbor area, and we're able to pick up the pace just a little bit, but just go a little bit faster than the speed of the waves as we're running downhill. Girls are enjoying their view back there, and yeah, we're in the final home stretch here. So when we got back from this trip, the skies opened up and started pouring rain, and we had to put Pippa to bed. So we felt like it was super necessary to do some sort of a debrief from that awesome trip. It's now end of October, and we've done a ton of trips. We've put over 150 hours on the boat this season, and just had such a blast. But this video was really our first trip with Pippa on a Axopar 28, as I mentioned. And overall, we've had such a blast. I just cannot tell you how much fun this has been. I mean, even today we're cruising around, and it's in the mid 30s and windy, and we're still out there having a blast. So, but overall, what do you think the ideal number of nights are with cruising with a kid on a 28 Axopar?
I think with baby, 3 nights is perfect.
Yeah, 3 nights. 3 nights we think is like is a great number when you're cruising with a little one. And by the way, it is unbelievable how much stuff you can actually get done when you're cruising around at 30 knots on this boat. We hit so many locations. We probably did a week's worth of cruising in a 3-day stretch. So it is just such a great way to unplug and do a ton of fun things with the family. So again, hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed these videos, please click the subscribe button for more content like this.